Hey guys, Adnan here. Just wanted to preface this episode for you guys real quick. When we shot this episode with the Wrestling Guy store, it was at the original location in Huntington Park. As of today, he is no longer at that location. We did not know this when we shot this a few weeks ago, that he was going to be moving location. So now he is going to be at the shops in Montebello. So feel free to check him out there now if you like any of the stuff that you see in the video and the way his old store looked, because he still has a lot of those products that you can still buy from him at the shops in Montebello now. So check him out at Wrestling Guy HP on Twitter, or Facebook is the Wrestling Guy store, I believe. So check him out there. So think of this episode now as like a bit of a time capsule, a bit of a preservation of the original Wrestling Guy store location. And hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, Adnan Qureshi here for the One4U show at the Dashing Adnan on Twitter, and we're here in hot and sunny Huntington Park, California at the Wrestling Guy store. The Wrestling Guy store is a little gem where you can find some of your favorite wrestling collectibles, action figures, and t-shirts, as well as sometimes have the opportunity to meet your favorite wrestlers. We're going to be here today to talk to its owner, David Gomez, as well as take an adventure around the store. Come and join us.
So you talking to like somebody in the website or?
We have a representative at WWE.
You got David Gomez?
I do. And I haven't been that lucky yet.
You do what you do, you never excited.
Yeah, that's why some of the issues is like that. Sure is about the channel.
People think the application is amazing. Yeah, they want to struggle.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Adnan Qureshi here. This is David Gomez, the owner of the Wrestling Guy store. How are you doing today, David?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you already in advance for letting us come here, show off some of the store, as well as talk to you a little bit about the store.
Thank you for showing off the store.
It's a cool store, that's why. Like, what is there? Like, there's so much to show off.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like all the great merchandise. You have the awesome ceiling Hall of Fame. Like,
We try.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's just start at the very beginning. Like, how long have you been up here, like doing the store and all that?
Well, here at this location, it's going to be 5 years in February.
Okay.
But I've been doing this a total of 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, we started off at the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet.
Oh,
yeah.
I know where that is because my dad used to actually have a thing up there too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's like it was like there was a bunch of knives and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, we were one of the Middle Eastern people that sold knives basically at the swap meet. You passed by him, but I still know a guy who sells knives over there.
I know. It's funny because I used to do Friday nights, and there was this place. We were at a place where there was jewelry. They would sell jewelry there Saturday and Sunday, but I would have that spot Fridays. And then one Saturday, we decided to go down there, and my neighbor on a Saturday was a guy that sold knives and swords and stuff. He was a really cool guy, though. Really cool guy. He was he saw us. I didn't know how bad it was going to be on Saturday, so I forgot to take water and Gatorade. So he bought me like Gatorade and water. And
you gotta stay hydrated on the days, man. Like this hot summer we've been having.
Yeah, and he tells me like, he was always like, "Hey, my friend, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm great." So I think he still remembers me to this day. At least I hope he does.
Gotcha. And then you have that. Then you have the storefront now.
Yeah.
When did you just like become a fan, just in general? Like, how did fandom start for you?
It's fun. My cousin was actually watching. Me and my cousin. It was a Saturday morning. You know, Saturday morning cartoons. For those that don't know.
Yeah.
It was like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have Saturday morning cartoons like we used to.
I know, it sucks. Huh?
Everything's different. Everything's changing. Damn you, cursed children's now. Anyway.
They get SpongeBob and Clarence now.
I don't know Clarence. I know SpongeBob.
You don't want to.
Okay.
Clarence is like you know the comedian Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
He's like a cartoon version of Louis Anderson.
They did Life with Louis back in the day.
It's
So
that
was a cartoon about Louis Anderson.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Same animation actually.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so we were watching like Saturday morning cartoons, and there used to be like the last cartoon would come on like at 10 in the morning, which was like I think Looney Tunes or something. And then so we were bored, and it was like 11, and we're like, well, what do we watch now? And we're like, so he's like, well, there's just something that's. He goes, you want to watch something that looks like boxing? And I'm like, okay. So like, whatever.
Kind of like boxing.
Yeah, so he's like, all right. So he puts it on. So he's like flipping the channels, and he finds it, and yeah, it was WWF Superstars. And I remember the first match was like Hillbilly Jim against like some jobber.
Because Superstars was a match that was a show that was just meant for guys to just get over on jobbers.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I think it might have been Iron Mike Sharp.
One of the most infamous jobbers of all
exactly. And so I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." And so I think there was a main event. It's so funny because I can never remember the main event, but I always remember Hillbilly Jim. I think because he was in overalls, and it was like, what the hell is he doing?
He also seems like the nicest human being on the planet.
And I think he was just like dancing and clapping. So I was like, all right, this is cool. So Sunday morning comes, and I'm like, God, I need to find this. You know, I want to watch it again. So I'm like flipping through the channels all day. It was like around 11. So I'm like, I'm flipping. And yeah, I found Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were doing a wrestling challenge. And I was like, oh, that's it. I'm hooked. So every Saturday, every Sunday. Saturday was WWF Superstars. Sunday was WWF Wrestling Challenge. But I think at that time, if I'm not mistaken, Superstars was like on Fox 11. And Wrestling Challenge was like on KCAL 9 at the time. So,
something like that.
Yeah, and then like Telemundo or Channel 34.
Well, you watch the same thing, but it's in Spanish.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch it again. So I got hooked, and I would beg my mom, like Saturday night's main event would come on, and it would be on what 11:30 at night, and I would go to like the TV guide, and I would see it like, oh, Saturday night's main event. Hulk Hogan was like in the page ripping the shirt, and I'd be like, oh, I beg my mom like, let me stay up. So she would like bribe me with like school. If you do good in school, you can stay up. So yeah, I'd be up from like 9 years old at 11:30 at night watching until like 1:05 in the morning.
Well, it was worth it.
Yeah,
Clearly it was worth it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. So I always remember like when people ask me that, it's like the first wrestler I ever saw was Doink the Clown.
Really?
Because I was really confused as to why I was watching a clown beat people up. But that's not really like I remember that was more in like passing. I remember really the first match I really remember watching was on a Raw. It was when Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin won the tag titles from Bulldog and Owen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the first like
that.
match I remember like watching when I became a fan.
Yeah, I think I didn't become a wrestling. Well, my favorite wrestler was Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Go figure. Yeah, I just loved him. I even dressed up as him for Halloween. I had the
giant hedge clippers.
Yeah,
and all that.
I did the fishnets. I went all out. I did the tights, cut them in half. You know, but my first, like when I started appreciating wrestling, my favorite wrestler at that time was Mr. Perfect.
No, he was perfect.
Yeah,
he was the man.
I used to do the little gum and. You know,
nice.
I missed all the time, but I hit it.
So how did you spin your fandom into actually like having like storefronts, merchandise, stuff like that, like building a business out of your own fandom, basically?
Well, what ended up happening is I always wanted to have my own business, so I did a cell phone store because that was I liked dealing with people. And the cell
Were
phone
you under a carrier? Like
we used to do AT&T.
Okay.
And then I started working for AT&T, and then I said, you know what, I'm making a little bit of money on commission. I'm like, why not open my own store? So I did my own store, but it was just like there's so much politics behind that crap. Go figure. And so I said, you know what, forget it. So a friend came, and this was when there was like no Metro or Boost, and so you actually had to have credit.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you need to carry something else. I'm like, well, I'm a wrestling fan. Let's try wrestling T-shirts. That way, if the ones I want, I can get a discount.
That's a perfect con.
I was like,
there you go.
And this was when like John Cena was just coming up, and Rey
so like
Mysterio.
2004.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, like that.
And so we did the cell phone store, and we didn't. It didn't go well, and I still had the shirts left over, so I went to the swap meet, the Santa Fe Spring swap meet, and I had like a dozen shirts. I'm like, oh, let me try to get rid of them here. Sold out in like 2 hours.
And then you just sat at the swap meet for another 5.
Yeah,
just like, well, I'm here.
Yeah,
might as well go listen to the cover band that's here.
I did the mistake of taking the car in, and I didn't know that like when you take the car in, you can't leave.
You have to wait until everyone leaves, because then everyone has to get their cars out.
Yeah, because I was like ready to drive, and they're like, where are you going? I'm like, I want to go home. Like, you can until like 10 o'clock. Great. So I did that, and then So we did the shirts. So I'm like, after we sold those shirts, I'm like, oh, I went back home. I told my wife, oh, you know what? The shirts did really well. Let's order more. So we ordered a lot of shirts, and then we were like, we need something else to sell besides the shirts. So we're like, let's try like stuffed animals. Let's just do a bunch of stuff. Well, the shirts were always selling, but the stuffed animals, like the Mickey Mouse and stuff, weren't selling. So I'm like, well, what else do we bring in? So this guy that used to sell wrestling stuff there also, he's like, oh, is this all you're gonna sell, like wrestling? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you're only gonna last like a month. Well, we made it there. I think it was 9 years.
That's way longer than
Yeah. And then we brought in like the action figures. I had an RVD action figure at home, and I'm like, I told my wife, well, we should try to sell action figures. She's like, oh, okay. So I ended up, she got so pissed. I got the action figure she bought me from RVD, which we were saving to get signed. Because he had 5-star comics.
Yeah, he used to have RBC's 5-star comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got it, and I took it to and it sold. So I'm like, oh, we definitely got to sell action figures. So I started calling Jax, and yeah, they said, yeah, we can get you some action figures. So just started from there, and you know, everybody's like, well, why don't you bring in comics? Why don't you bring in Ninja Turtles? Why don't you bring in other stuff? It just never worked. It just never worked. Wrestling is what sold. We were just known for wrestling, and this. So every time people would go to the swap meet, they would be like, oh, let's go see what the wrestling guy has, and that's where the name came from.
Gotcha. That's a good way to get the name.
Yeah. So
speaking of Rob Van Dam, that's actually the first signing I ever came to. When I actually that's the first time I ever heard about you guys. Period.
Oh, okay.
I came for the Rob Van Dam signing you had a couple of years ago, like 2014. Which brings me to, how did you get around to getting guys here for signings and stuff like that, and having this lovely ceiling of fame?
we used to do signings at the swap meet, and the first guy we ever had at swap meet was Chris Masters.
Okay.
And then it went well, and then we had Chavo Guerrero, and we had John Morrison, and then we're like, oh, let's try something. Let's try it at the store. Let's have a signing. That way it brings people in, and it went really well. And then RVD was funny because we used to get emails and messages from people all the time claiming to know certain people and claiming to be representing so and so and so and so and so and so, and then all of a sudden they would never produce. So this guy Tony Vella had reached out to me and had said, hey, I like your store, and you know, I was checking it out online. I like what you're doing, and I work with Rob, and I would like to know if you'd be interested in bringing him in. And I'm like, sure. So he brought him in, and I'm like, well, call me and we'll go over the details. So he calls me, we go over the details. I'm like, well, until you bring him in, I'll believe it. So he actually had Rob tweet it, and I was like, okay, it's actually legit. He's coming. And so that's how that started. And then like the ceiling of fame actually was my friend Butcher, who is around here somewhere. And when he came in, Butcher is funny because my wife had met him years ago. Little fun fact that nobody knows. The Wrestling Guy store was actually a retail store years ago before we got this location, and we lasted like 2 months during MySpace era.
Okay.
And funny enough, this guy walks into the store. My wife was working that day, and my wife calls me and it's like, hey, do you know this wrestler named Butcher? And I'm like, no, I've never heard of him. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, he's a pro wrestler. And I'm like, no, he must be one of those independent wrestlers. So I had to explain to her what like independent
what the
wrestlers
indies were.
Yeah. So when we opened this location, so I never heard from him, never saw him again. I think when he went back again, we were closed already. And so years go, fast forward, and this guy walks in to the store, and somehow or another I found out his name is Butcher. They call him Dennis the Butcher. And I'm like, so I asked him, like, did you ever go there? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. You met my wife first, and now you meet me. And he was a big believer that this store would be a big success when he walked in. So his son, who's very, very talented artistically, did all the murals, all the artwork in here. And the very first thing was we decided we wanted, the walls here were white. And
because when I came in for the Rob Van Dam one, none of these were.
Yeah, none of these were here. The walls were completely white. So we decided to paint these walls black. And I think when he saw the walls were black, and he asked his son to do something for us, which is the sign that's behind us. And so that's how that started. And then Tito Santana was coming in a couple years later, or a couple months later.
Nice.
And he's like, well, why don't we should have a board with Tito Santana on it because he's a Hall of Famer. And so he did the board. And that's where it all started. Everyone, and then we're like, well, Drew McIntyre's coming. We need a board
Got
for him.
him.
Lita's coming. We need a board for her.
Now you've got all these awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was here then. Past that, I was here then. Rob Van Dam was my first. Then I came for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And then I came for Wade Barrett most recently.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that stuff's like, yeah, all these murals are totally awesome, and it's really like super sick and awesome that you've been able to have all these guys and girls come in to do these great appearances. It's good for them to meet people. It's good for you to get people in the store.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You didn't come for the Butcher signing?
I did not come for the Butcher sign. I actually the first time I met Butcher was the Rob Van Dam signing. Actually, he handed me a flyer for whatever indie show was going on that year.
Santino Bros or something.
Probably. Speaking of Santino, I did the one-day training for Santino Brothers.
How'd it go?
That went all right. The physical part destroyed me. I'm actually, because we were talking about this, like we were talking about like being in front of camera.
Yeah.
Because Jervis Cottonbelly is the charisma instructor.
Oh, okay.
I impressed him and Joey's wife Sylvia with the promo I cut. Like I cut like probably the best promo there. In actuality, physically I'm not great, but promo-wise I actually cut like a really really good promo. So the fact that I was able to impress like Jervis and Joey and Sylvia with like Brody King with my promo and stuff like that, that was dope.
Oh, that's damn.
Yeah.
That is actually pretty good because I can't cut a promo to save my life. They've asked me to cut a promo, and I just cannot do it to save my life. I don't even. I think I did it as a kid, like wrestling with your brother, but like when the camera's on, like.
When the gift of gab just strikes you, sometimes you just have to feel it in your heart and your soul to make the people believe in what you have to say. Stuff like that.
See, that's
know?
good. I
Yeah.
can. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, basically.
I'd be like, got you.
Who is? I was gonna say that's a nice tangent though. I like that.
Yeah, thank
who
you.
who has been your favorite signing to have, and who's someone that you would want to have like that you haven't had before?
Well, I can answer the second question.
Okay.
The goal, I mean, realistic goal is, I've told everybody the very last signing that I would ever want to have here and like say it's over is Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan. That's realistic because I really, of course, I'm a big Stone Cold Steve Austin mark as well, but I just don't think realistically it's gonna happen. So I've kind of like thrown that away.
I mean, there's the Bryan Danielson Award for now the Wrestling Observer. It used to be Best Technical Wrestler. Now it's called the Bryan Danielson
So
Award.
see,
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan, having him here would be like my goal. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the portrait,
little mural,
which
yeah.
also my friend Anthony drew as well.
There you go.
That was a birthday gift. So.
That's the goal. That's the
goal.
big one.
That's the big one.
That's the big one. So who's been? But it's hard to pick a favorite out of all these great. You've had Chavo. You've had Tito Santana. You've had Rob Van Dam. You've had Sabu.
You know,
You had Rey Mysterio.
I would say, I'll do it quick because I don't want to kill a lot of time. But I'll say, I will say China's one of my favorites because, well, as you know, she passed away, and so it was emotionally she's one of my favorites. Chris Masters is one of my favorites, along with Chavo, because they were there. They've been with me since the beginning, and they're really supportive of the store. Rey Mysterio is my favorite, one of my favorites as well, because I had, when we first opened here in Huntington Park, people remember that I would always say, someday Rey Mysterio's gonna be in this store, and people would doubt me.
And you did it.
Yeah, and I'll be
Because
like, as soon as I announce, I'm like,
That's the biggest one you've done, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that
That's the
lasted
biggest
like
one.
like you had 2 hours and it went like 4 because like people were still here, so you're like, and Ray was cool enough to be like, no, let them keep coming in until they're done.
Yeah. And then,
which is really cool. Shout out Rey Mysterio.
I love you, Ray.
We know you're totally watching.
And then I like Tito Santana. And I'll tell you why I like Tito Santana. Because same thing with Butcher. He came in here one day and he brings this the very first WWF game ever, which was like a board game. And we're playing this game. Never played a day in my life. And I don't think he had played either. I think maybe like with his son, maybe once. And we bring it here, and it was a Sunday, like, and we're just playing, and I picked Tito Santana and Ricky Steamboat. You can pick like your team.
Yeah.
And I beat him. I would just keep doing arriba, arriba, you know, and he would get so pissed. I would beat him, and I was like undefeated. And so one day I told him, I go, I'm gonna bring Tito Santana just for you, so he could do this. And sure enough, yeah, we brought Tito, and he did the whole arriba, and it was like the best day. But my favorite, I think, I would have to say, because she has the record for being here for the most appearances here, is probably Melina. I'll say Melina. She's a real sweetheart. She supported the store when we needed some help as far as like getting more traction here at the store, and she's done fundraisers for like the cancer walk and stuff. So I would say Melina.
That's cool.
She's probably the favorite. She's been here the most, and you know, she's cool.
That's cool. I was gonna ask, when it came to Chavo, was he the connection that got you to be like the merch guy over at Lucha Underground? Because sometimes when we've gone to the temple, I noticed later on that you were the guy at there, which is why how I got this bandana. I also
You didn't
bought
get it
this
at the
shirt here.
temple though, right?
No, didn't get at the temple. No. Totally didn't get at the temple. No idea. No idea what you're talking about.
John threw it at you. John
Exactly,
threw it at you.
dude. Like Worldwide Underground,
Yeah,
try to
see?
represent. Anyway, is that how you got to being part of the Lucha Underground like team in that aspect? Like,
Yep, Chavo came the second time he came with his dad, which I love his dad too, really cool guy. He came in and they were just starting Lucha Underground, and he told me, he looked at the store and he's like, you know, it'd be really cool is for you to carry the Lucha Underground merch. And I'm like, I go, it would, but I don't know how to even get a hold of them. So he's like, just leave it to me. And next thing you know, he went to some people. Chris DeJoseph also
producer. Yeah.
went to some people, and then they her name Linda and Doug, who worked for Lucha Underground, came here, checked out the store. We talked, and we were able to carry the merch. Then they both thought it would be really cool because I know the wrestling fans. They said, hey, why don't you come sell merch with us? And we were going through some tough times here at the store as far as sales wise, and so they're like, why don't you come in, we'll let you promote your store while you're there. And yeah, and that's how it all started. And now I'm like a staple there, where people don't see me at the merch booth. They're like, hey, where were
Where's
you?
that guy? Yeah.
Like, where were you? So it's pretty cool. I have a co-worker there, her name's Alexa, and we're like, so shout out to Alexa. She's my Lucha Underground homegirl. When we're not working together, no offense to anybody else that's there, but when it's not me and her, there's something wrong.
doesn't
We
feel
miss
right.
each other, yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, it's like, hey, you can't miss anymore because things don't go well. So, but yeah, that's how we got connected with Lucha Underground, and you know, so we're really thankful to Lucha Underground.
Cool, that's good. And then another connection that you started to build here that also got you a little publicity. Recently, you guys were on New Japan Pro Wrestling's actual like promotional videos for the Long Beach shows that just happened back in July, which were awesome shows. I was at both those shows and they were amazing. How did that go about to where you are now on New Japan Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel, and then hopefully is there a chance that you'll get some New Japan Pro Wrestling merch in the store?
It's funny because I bugged Rocky Romero. I bugged
Who's
him
the
and
man?
bugged him and bugged him.
Shout out to Rocky Romero.
Shout out, Rocky.
Still love to have you here too.
We like to have him here too.
Yeah.
No, you know what? We bugged him. I think we bugged him. He says we didn't. But I messaged him like crazy until he finally answered. And I know he's a really busy guy, and he's like, hey, you know, we'd love to work something out with you when New Japan comes into town. And then he set that up along with Yoshitatsu. But Rocky, we bugged him and bugged him and bugged him, and he's told us like, hey, we want to do a video at your store. He's like, how far are you from Long Beach? And I think I said like 15-20 minutes tops. So he's like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll get you in the video. And he came in here, did the video, and we honestly didn't expect. I'm new to the whole. I'm not gonna lie to everybody. I'm a big WWE mark, and I only know Lucha Underground because I work for them. But I knew New Japan maybe just from hearing people talk about it.
Right.
But I never knew the passion fans had for it.
I can speak because I'm a hugely passionate New Japan fan.
Yeah, I didn't know until. So Rocky puts the video up on G1, which I love Rocky, and I did send him a thank you message for it, because that Saturday and Sunday when they were here for the G1 was like, it was like a WWE weekend here, because when WWE's in town, our sales will just go, we're busy all day. And when G1 was here,
It
we
was
were
the same
busy.
kind of thing.
Yeah, same
What
thing.
helps with that is that they put you on their channel,
Yeah.
and then also it's one of those things too. I'm sort of, as great as those shows were, they could have easily put that in a bigger venue.
Yeah.
Because those shows sold out so quickly,
Right.
and there was such a ravenous fan base that wanted the New Japan here, you know.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was obviously a huge success for them, and I'm glad that it also tippered into you that Rocky helped you get the nod, and hopefully, you know.
I give all that credit to Rocky. I don't think we would have had a great weekend, even though people say like, well, they said they Googled us, and some people said they saw some in New Japan, but I honestly give all the credit to Rocky Romero for that. I think if it wasn't for him even taking the chance of putting us on his video, I don't think we would have had the big crowd and exposed us as much as he did.
There you go. There you go. Thanks, Rocky. RockyRomeroMerch.com. There's another one for you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Hopefully we'll carry his merch here soon. And
cool.
We are working with Pro Wrestling Tees.
Because I've bought in a couple of his merches too.
Oh,
so.
okay.
So yeah. So then you're trying to get Rocky's merch. So yeah, any chance then for the New Japan merch coming in then?
We are talking to Pro Wrestling Tees as we speak, and so hopefully I know definitely we'll have it before Christmas.
Oh, sweet.
But I think I'm gonna say sometime in September we will have some New Japan merch. We won't be. I can't say we'll have as much as WWE because, like I said, I'm new to the whole New Japan. And
well, plus WWE is still king.
Yeah.
But New Japan has got their foot here now, and now that's definitely going to be a thing.
The goal is to have as much as we can of New Japan, and the more you guys come into the store and let us know who you want from the New Japan merch, then we'll order it.
Set out if you want to see Honma, Makabe, if you want to see Tanahashi, Okada, Naito, Los Ingobernables, all that.
I'm gonna have to hire him to order my New Japan merch.
I can talk New Japan forever. Dude. Like, you want Zack Sabre Jr. stuff, Suzuki Gun stuff, any type of stuff. Let them know, and hopefully we'll get it here at Wrestling Guy Store in Huntington Park.
Yeah, we'll order some Bullet Club hunters too.
There you go. For that shit. There you go, Yosh. We got you there.
See, shout out to Yoshitatsu.
There you go. All right, this has been cool. Anything else what are you hoping for the store as you move forward then with the rest of 2017 and beyond?
I'm hoping we're doing pretty well right now, so hopefully the sales will keep going as well as they are. Hopefully we'll open a second location a couple more years.
I hope so too. I've actually been wondering when you'll have like a second place. Yeah.
I don't want to do too many. I don't want it to be like, oh, there's one here in Huntington Park and then there's one in Downey. It has to be somewhere where it makes sense for people, maybe in Orange County, maybe. I don't know. I really like San Diego, so maybe San Diego, maybe Vegas. Compete with the Las Vegas Fight Shop.
The Fight Shop? Dang, man.
Just kidding, Fight Shop. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I don't even think we can compete with them. They carry everything. See, we're even giving a shout out to them. So
dude, they got ROH merch too.
Yeah. So I think that would be the goal. Probably just open another location, and my ultimate goal would be for maybe Vince McMahon to walk in here.
Yeah, one day and be like, pal, got an interesting storefront here.
Yeah, I'll buy you out. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Done deal.
That'd be dope.
And sell Butcher. I've been trying to sell him to these people in the Middle East that have come here. They came. There's a family that comes here from the Middle East, and they come every summer. They haven't been here yet this summer, and they're really good customers. I'm trying to sell them.
All right.
I'm including them in the purchases. They just
he comes with a free butcher.
He comes with the free butcher. But no, that's the goal.
All right. Thanks for having us here.
Oh, no, thank you guys.
Feel free. So where can the people follow the store on social media, stuff like that? Where can they listen to the podcast too that you have? You also have the Wrestling Guy podcast, right? So you have the podcast, you have your social. Tell the people where they can find you all over the internet.
Podcast, WrestlingGuyPodcast.com. The store has its website, TheWrestlingGuyStore.com. Facebook, The Wrestling Guy Store. Instagram, The Wrestling Guy Store. And Twitter, it's Wrestling Guy HP because they didn't let me have Wrestling Guy Store.
Yeah.
And that's all our social media. And I want to give a shout out to a very special person.
Oh, go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I love this guy. I want to give a shout out to Little Angelico.
Ah, Little Angelico.
I love Little Angelico. He better not edit this part out either. We're gonna break up. Shout out to Little Angelico because he's been very patient, and you guys don't know he's the one recording this.
That's Graham Husted. That's our director, producer, all that.
If you ever see him, I don't know if you have the Twitter.
At Graham Husted.
Yeah.
Follow Little Angelico at Graham Husted.
Does he have a picture on there?
Yeah, he has his own picture, but not like it doesn't look like this. But just tweet at Graham Husted. Hey, Little Angelico.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you gotta see. You'll see why we call him Little Angelico. Shout out to
fantastic.
Shout out to Butcher.
He's
somewhere around here.
He's around here.
He hides.
I don't know where he is.
He hasn't come out. I don't know. Come out like that, but I mean, he's come out. He's probably in the back, doing something.
All right, David. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this, man. Thanks for being on and all that.
No, thank you guys for having me. As you guys can tell, I'm a big clown, so come on down next time, you guys want.
No problem, dude. So yeah, come down to the Wrestling Guy store. David's super friendly, super chill. He'll help you get what you need, as well as you can see the awesome art that's in this place. All right. So in any case, thanks again for being here. As always, guys, I am Adnan Qureshi at the Dashing Adnan on Twitter. Follow Little Angelico also at Graham Husted. Follow us on the channel. channel, like, subscribe, comment, youtube.com/One4U show, ONE, the number 4 letter U show. And as always, this has been another episode that has been 1-4-U. Hey, Butcher.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
No problem.